Hello agents, and welcome back to another Division build video. Today we've got quite a special one. I quite like builds like this where you get to do something super powerful, and I just hope that it is not taken away from us. From the clip you've just seen, I actually one-shot a weak point on Razorback with one pistol shot. The one you saw in the clip hit for around 200 million. Well, that's what the box says in the bottom left hand corner of the game. I don't believe it. I think there's something buggy with the damage output number. I don't think it's hitting for that much at all, but it does enough damage to one shot the weak point, and I'm super interested in what we can use this for in other parts of the game now going forward. I want to thank Equinox and Dino for helping me out with the troubleshooting for this build as well. They hit me up with a whole bunch of information which made this video possible. And without further ado, here is the build. Now there's actually two different ways of doing this, so I'm going to post two different videos so that this one doesn't run overly long. But this is the first one, and as you can see, nothing really out of the ordinary here. You can see that the Dodge City Gunslinger's holster is where the main damage is going to come from, because you can see the quick draw talent. While your pistol is holstered, gain a stacking buff every 0.3 seconds up to 100. And you can see that bar building up very slowly in the middle of your screen. When you swap to it, your first shot consumes the buff and deals 10% damage per stack. This deals headshot damage to wherever you hit. So obviously Razorback doesn't have a head, but obviously it's going to let us use headshot damage to help further increase the amount of damage we're going to do, because we get headshot damage and hopefully we get critical hit damage as well. Now the Ravenous is a requirement for this build, so if you've not got one, you need to run the Iron Horse raid, and fingers crossed that you get it. If you need help with that and you're on PC, hit me up over on Twitch, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE, where we run raid help 5 times a week, helping people get the Ravenous or get through even Dark Hours to get the Eagle Bearer nowadays as well. So because I'm using the Raven, that's an exotic, you need a really high powered pistol. The best one you're going to get in the game right now is the D50, and you want pistol damage maxed out if possible, damage to target out of cover maxed out if possible, and I just tried Optimist to get some extra damage. It doesn't make a whole lot of difference. I was very surprised. I was hoping it would make much more difference, but it actually doesn't. So as long as you've got your pistol damage maxed out and your damage to target out of cover maxed out, like this one here, you will certainly do enough damage. Maybe try something like Ranger, and if you do, let me know in the comments down below. I'll very quickly flip through the rest of the build. The reason I've got the crossbow on is just because I'm going to be doing the circle in Razorback, so that I can use the crossbow and easily get rid of the grate really quickly. The grenade is the obvious one choice here. I've got the classic M1A with my boomerang on, all maxed out, but you can use whatever secondary weapon that you want. This is going to be your main killing weapon when you're not doing the one shot. Then I've opted for the Punch Drunk, and that's because it gives us 20% pistol damage for the brand set bonus. We get some headshot damage, which we're going to be able to take and make use of as well. And I've got critical hit chance and a critical hit chance mod in here as well. Then I've got my Providence chest piece. We're using 3-piece Providence for this build, so we get all of the 3 Providence boosts, the headshot damage, the critical hit chance and the critical hit damage. And then I'm running crit damage, crit chance and crit damage, along with perfect glass cannon, which is another multiplicative huge boost. I'm running the gift. You can actually get one of these right now this week in the DZ South vendor. It's going to require quite a lot of optimization, but I've got a video down below you can check out in the description to how to optimize things just a little bit quicker and a little bit easier. But the requirement for that video is that you're a high SHD level to make this possible. But you can pretty much min-max anything. If you're over 1500 to 2000 SHD, you can actually min-max anything fairly quickly. So go and check that video out. This is perfect vigilance, but regular vigilance will do. The damage is actually the same. Let me find my regular one just to show you. There you go. You see the damage is the same. It just shaves off 1 second. So it's literally just for the sake of min-maxing that 1 second out. The gloves all min-maxed headshot damage and critical hit damage. And then we've got Fox's prayers because the damage to target out of cover is really, really nice. Critical hit damage, weapon damage. Rifle damage is just for when I'm using my secondary and killing ads. Make sure with your specialisation you've got pistol damage spec'd out and you've got the full maximum 15% damage from that as well. And skills, you can just use whatever you want. Now, when I flip over and go to my pistol, you will see that I've got 43% critical hit chance. And what I've actually done, so in the video and the clips you're going to see, I actually do just shy of around 200 mil damage according to the weapon damage output box. It's not going to be that high, I'll show you in the range in a second. But what I've been doing is I've been just trying to lower the crit damage down a little bit and up the crit chance so that I'm not as reliant on another person in my team running the Coyote's mask. Because obviously for this to work, we need to hit a critical hit. And as you can see, when they're hitting Razorback from 25 meters away, we get 25% critical hit chance as well. And then we get the mid-range buff as well. If you've got 2 people running it, which is a further 10, which gives you a total 35% extra critical hit chance. So rather than being reliant on my other team members running this mask because they might not want to, I'm just essentially lowering my crit damage and buffing up my critical hit chance, just so it becomes more of a solo aspect rather than relying on my teammates to do it. Now the key to all of this is the Ravenous, and I think this is where most misconceptions come in, because when you shoot with the Ravenous, depending on what shoulder you shoot on, if you fire from the right shoulder, the hits add an offensive primer. If you fire from the other shoulder, the left hand shoulder, it adds a defensive primer. Now what I think most people don't realise with this is that when they're shooting with the defensive side, they're just getting armour stacks. But I don't think they realise that actually you can deal a whole lot of damage from that side as well. The damage just doesn't come from the right hand side with the explosive damage. And if you look here at the bottom of the description, when detonated, each offensive primer deals 100% weapon damage, while each defensive primer grants 4% bonus armour. And I think that's where people tend to just stop and just assume that's it, but it's not. You get 10% amplified damage to armour plates for 5 seconds. So for instance, when you have a dog or a chunga, like a heavy in this game, they're always damaged to health. And Razorback is actually damaged to health, but he has armour plating, the segments at the top of the screen that you see when you kill him. I hope that makes sense. So this works. It's not the same as damage to health and not the same as damage to armour. It's actually, it's worded differently, and it's a little bit confusing, but it works. So I hope that's clear. If not, hit me up in the comment section down below or come and see me over on Twitch and I'll answer as many questions as I possibly can for you. So hopefully I've not got anyone in here to buff me with my critical hit chance, so this is going to be, you know, just a 40% chance of us doing it, but I'll show you the method on what we do. So we flip over. As you can see now, the gunslinger bonus is maxed because we've been talking all the way through it. And you get a chance to do it, well I get a chance to just put 5 full stacks in twice. So 5 hits, which actually gives us 10 shots because it's a double barrel. We hit with 2 bullets every time. And I get to do that twice before the bonus starts to run out. You only get 5 seconds with the bonus armor before it starts to run out. And the important bit is why we've got the whole set of bonus armor, we flip to our pistol and we do the shot and we hope for a critical hit. One thing to note with the Ravenous, when you see the clip, it'll look a bit strange. I'm shooting the side of Razorback to build the blue stacks. You don't have to actually do damage. As long as it recognises you're hitting an enemy, even if you're not doing damage, you can build stacks with the Ravenous. And this applies in a bunch of places, even like the train and the Morozova fight, Boomer and things like that. You can actually stack the buffs from the Ravenous even though you're not doing any damage. So when you see me hitting the side of Razorback, that's what I'm doing. I'm basically getting the buffs ready so that as soon as the weak point appears, I can just hit it with my pistol. Oh, and there we go. We hit for 21,21678,004. And that's exactly the kind of damage you want to be in. You want to be in that 20 million range. I've hit with 90 million in here, and I think that will be enough. So I think I've got enough room to bring down my critical hit damage, or bring down my headshot damage, and be able just to not rely on the Coyote's mask as much. But that's the numbers you want to be doing with this build. Now, like I said before, there is another build that you can use to do this as well, and that'll come in a couple of days. You'll see that as well. And that one's actually a little bit easier to put together because it requires gear set pieces. So if you can't quite get the min-max, or you're missing the punch drunk or things like that, and you can't quite hit the numbers, look out for that one in a couple of days. I'll play some more clips now of me doing the one-shot. But I hope you found this video useful. If you can think of any other ways we could use this Ravenous damage buff. I think what people didn't realise was that the defensive side actually gave a damage buff, and that actually you can use that buff on another weapon. It's not just on the Ravenous where you're going to get that damage buff. So that's really, really nice to know. And especially for people who want to try and find weird and wonderful ways, or very quick ways of doing bosses in the raids, this is super, super nice. Thanks for watching, everybody. Come and check me out over on Twitch, like I said before, twitch.tv/DJTICKLE. Hit that thumbs up and help me out with that YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel for lots of Division content, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.